National Secretary of the TWU has said that Uber has created an imbalance for taxi drivers who follow these safety regulations and maintain their vehicles properly. The Department of Transport are out there all the time with their inspectors making sure you're wearing your correct uniform, making sure that... Getting the Department of Transport inspectors to do the same with Uber, who are operating illegally. We've got support from not only around the country with the Transport Workers Union, we have support from unions in Japan, from unions in Brazil, from unions in Belgium, and also from the Teamsters in America. Uber's a multinational company which doesn't pay tax, runs its payment system through tax havens. Why isn't the Australian Taxation Office being involved with Uber? Couple of lines for a couple of emails that we've received from overseas. The BTBU-BT in Belgium want to express our solidarity with the taxi drivers and their union in Australia, the TWU. We wish you all success for the Action Day in Perth. Happening in Belgium, Uber is destabilising the taxi industry in a very aggressive way. TWU in the campaign against Uber. Vice Chairman of the International Transport Federation. Sisters in Panama, without fights there shall be no victories. We therefore need to fight and we shall win. Your actions will become an inspiration to all of us. From Brazil, from Japan, on behalf of more than 400,000 transport workers, including taxi drivers, by the Japanese Council of Transport Workers. I'd like to send my solidarity message to TWU members who will organise protest action against Uber in Perth. So we're not going to stand looking at around the country, we're looking at around the world. And it's a first for Australia and other states will follow suit to get rid of Uber. Bear with me. On behalf of the 1.4 million men and women of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, please extend our greetings and solidarity to the taxi drivers in Perth for their protest. We share your frustration with unsafe, deceptive and unfair business practices mandated by Uber. Cab drivers here in the USA are organising in unprecedented numbers in response to this threat. We are joining with cab companies, riders and concerned politicians, wish we had some, to defend safe, reliable service, the well-being of consumers and the livelihood of drivers. The exponential growth of Uber and their ilk have an unfair advantage because, in most cases, they are allowed to operate free of the rules, regulations and licensing requirements of traditional taxis. App-based drivers are being exploited by the new companies as well. These labour brokers have damaged workers' rights in a number of other industries, and we must find new ways to protect workers' rights for all workers in this evolving economy. In solidarity, James P. Hoffer, General President, International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Yesterday afternoon on 6PR, TIFWA said that they urged, TIFWA said, personally, this person won't support the convoy. Sunday Times last Sunday said that he urged cabbies not to join the protest. My understanding is TIFWA is your forum. Why are they not here today supporting you? Because you're the taxi industry. And the government need to tell us why their Liberal Policy Committee chair is a manager of Uber. Thing I have to ask before I move to one of my taxi committee who has a petition to present to the Shadow Minister, the Honourable Ken Travers. Yay! Yeah. Transport Workers Union would like to recognise the original owners of this land. My apologies for not bringing that up. That the taxi drivers commit that if the Barnett government does not enforce the current legislation, it will run a campaign from now to the next election in removing the Barnett coalition government. Bill, thank you very much. Harry. Of the taxi drivers, what they're up for, okay? We've already done that. Okay. The government is well aware of the insurance you pay, of the lease fees you pay, of the rank fees you pay, and every other associated fee that you pay, okay? We've already made them aware of that, so don't panic. That's been done, okay? Already been done. We've been talking about this for days and days and days and months and months. The Minister was aware that we were coming up here this afternoon. He was speaking about it on radio this morning. So why he failed to come out and talk to you, I don't know. I really don't know. He's had the chance to come and address you. He was happy to get on radio. Apparently he was hiding in the foyer or standing in the foyer, whatever, because he had another meeting. We're waiting on the Minister to come out and we'll see what he has to say. Okay? Thanks.
He's shy.
What do we want? When do we want? What do we want? When do we want? Now, imagine guys, we've been just waiting for one job, to get one job. How long it takes to get a job nowadays? So we will wait as much as it takes. We have only 3 simple questions for the Minister of Transport to answer. 1, why should we pay $700 per week? But other drivers, they don't pay anything. Why should we pay $150 every week to Swan Taxi? They don't pay anything. So we want just fair play for everybody. We don't want a double standard in a business in Western Australia, in Australia. We don't want that. Yes, exactly. Why we paying $4,000 to insurance? Why? Why we have to pay $1,800 for the registration? Why should once a year we go to the pit to check our car that it's perfect to drive the passenger around? And exactly, why should we always have a uniform and Department of Transport, even if we don't wear a uniform, they fine us. So we just want a fair play. There is something very important. No business pay GST if they make less than $50,000 a year. So how many taxi drivers are making $50,000 a year? Thank you. What do we want? When do we want? What do we want? When do we want? Guys, why we are staying here? To see a Minister of Transport. And we will stay here as long as it takes. Thank you.
Okay, can we keep it down for a moment? Myself and 3 representatives of the taxi industry have met with the Minister. He has disclosed some details to us in regards to the Green Paper, which will be released in June. We are not at liberty to discuss those particular issues. They will be made public towards the end of June. He's also agreed to meet with myself and the selected representatives, and we will ask the industry for questions to put to the Minister, and he will supply us answers as well as he can, and then we'll move forward from there with a reasonably regular meeting with the Minister who will keep us informed of what's happening. How does that...
No good enough, mate.
No good enough!
No good enough!
Hang on, wait. One moment, Tech. That is one of the questions that will be asked. That is one of the questions that will be asked and addressed.
Mate,
Hang on, one person.
You have to resign!
One person, excuse me.
we need him out!
For the Uber oil that hired motor. And he's the same person who is working for the Uber, and then he's the same...
We are aware of that, and that will be discussed at length with the Minister at the meeting.
We need him out, man!
Okay, hold it
We need
down.
him out!
Hold it down. Allow the Minister to speak. If you make too much noise, I'll stop the Minister speaking, okay? Just allow the Minister to get some words in. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Look, I understand the challenge. This issue that exists in Perth exists in just about every jurisdiction around the world. And no one has come up with a solution at this point in time. But as a government, we are trying to work through a solution. We want to make sure that we create an environment where you can work and operate profitably and effectively across Perth and Western Australia. Look, some of the challenges that exist, we think that there is a lot of regulations that have been placed around the driver and around the operators of the vehicles. We also think that there hasn't been enough competition, particularly around the dispatch service. And we would like to look at that area in particular to see how that we can open it up and allow other dispatch services into that market and provide access to the taxi drivers to utilise them. In looking at that, we need to look at how the dispatch and the licence holders charge taxi drivers. We think that the charges and the way they do it on a weekly fee is not necessarily enticing a competitive environment. And so we believe that there's potential to consider a transactional fee. This is just one of the reform measures that we want to consider, along with a number of others. And a part of that process, we want to make sure that it is a safe environment for taxi drivers and a safe environment for our customers. The customers that use taxi services. And so that's what we're working through. So I've encouraged TWU to come back and meet with me with specific questions and talk through. We will have this green paper hopefully out by mid-June that we'll put out for consultation with the whole industry, with the whole state, so that we can look at the measures that we are considering. We want to provide certainty, but you know, I want to make sure that you understand, no jurisdiction has found a solution to this. We believe our reforms will go further than anybody else has gone in the past, and we're looking to provide surety for everybody in Western Australia.
What about Uber? What about Uber? What about
Okay, look, I'll just take the one question. There's been a question regarding a dispatch service that is operating potentially in illegal ways. The department has completed or conducted quite a thorough investigation. One of the things that they needed to do was ensure that if we were to prosecute, that we could prove beyond reasonable doubt. We have now filed one case, and we have a number of cases that are about to be filed. We've now got to a position where we are pursuing prosecution. The second thing with that, so one of the things we need to do is ensure that we enforce the law. The second aspect is to look at the industry itself, because one of the things that I think hasn't occurred is there's been a lack of innovation in the market. And that innovation around access to phones, iPhones and tablets and so forth provides an opportunity to deliver a better customer experience. So we believe that the way the current market operates, and when I talk about the dispatch services, we haven't provided that better experience. So there's been a lack of innovation. We need to encourage that innovation. And that's why not only do we want to enforce the law, we want to look at the reforms to provide a better customer proposition for the whole industry. And I believe that you will all be better off as a result of that. Can I just add? There's 1,000 questions, and this is where, you know, if you're going to have the TWU represent you, please provide your questions to the TWU. I've agreed to meet with them in a few weeks to ensure that we go through this in a proper way, and I'm happy to be open and transparent in that. So please, I won't take any more now, but if we can do that, then there'll be a proper follow-up process. Thanks very much.
Well, there you go, gentlemen. We've had the Minister come out and address us.
Finally!
We are now moving forward. Any questions that you may have, pop into the union office, give us a call, send a fax. We'll put together the series of questions to approach the Minister with, and we will get answers. And it will be ongoing. Thank you very much for turning up today. Thank you for showing your strength and solidarity.